The rising cost of living has hit millions of American seniors harder than ever before, and the sad truth is that Social Security benefits have not kept pace with inflation. Over the last 15 years, seniors have watched their Social Security checks grow slower than the real cost of everything around them. From groceries and rent to prescriptions and medical care, the numbers are clear. Each year's cost of living adjustment, or COLA, has been far below the actual inflation that older Americans experience. It's not just about statistics, it's about real lives and real struggles. Many seniors across the country are finding themselves forced to make heartbreaking choices, cutting back on food, skipping medication, or delaying basic home repairs because their monthly checks simply don't stretch far enough. This is not the retirement that hardworking Americans were promised. After decades of paying into the system, seniors deserve a fair adjustment that keeps up with the rising costs of life, not one that lags behind year after year. Welcome to Truth Lens, where we uncover the real stories behind Social Security, Medicare, and financial news that matter to America's seniors. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to giving a voice to retirees who feel unheard and providing honest updates that help you understand what's really happening in Washington and beyond. Here, we don't sugarcoat the truth. We shine a light on it. Every week, we break down what the government is doing with your benefits, how inflation and policy decisions affect your wallet, and what steps are being taken or ignored to support seniors trying to survive on fixed incomes. So if you're one of the millions relying on Social Security and wondering why you still feel like you can't make ends meet, this report is for you. For 2025, the projected Social Security cost of living adjustment is expected to be around 2.7%, according to early reports. That might sound like good news on the surface, but when you look deeper, the story isn't as hopeful. The price of nearly everything, gas, groceries, utilities, medical premiums, has gone up much faster than that. When you factor in Medicare Part B premium increases, which often take away half or more of that COLA bump, seniors are left with almost nothing extra. For so many, it feels like a cruel cycle. Every time benefits rise just a little, expenses jump even higher, swallowing up the increase before it even hits the bank account. Studies from the University of Michigan show that more than half of American seniors are stressed about their personal finances, with over 50% cutting back on daily essentials just to make it through the month. That means fewer social outings, fewer fresh groceries, and fewer simple joys that retirement was supposed to bring. Inflation hasn't just eroded purchasing power, it's stolen the peace of mind that every retiree deserves. A recent report from the Senior Citizens League revealed that since 2010, Social Security COLAs have rarely beaten inflation, leaving seniors effectively shortchanged by thousands of dollars. Their analysis shows that seniors are collectively owed an estimated $370 more per month today than they actually receive, simply because of how the formula that calculates COLA has failed to reflect real costs. This problem isn't new, it's structural. The formula used to calculate Social Security increases, called the CPIW, is based on the spending habits of urban workers, not retirees. It gives heavy weight to items like transportation and electronics, but gives far too little weight to healthcare, housing, and prescription drugs, the very things that dominate a senior's budget. This outdated system is why even as medical costs skyrocket, seniors' benefits remain nearly stagnant. In fact, Medicare premiums are set to rise dramatically once again. For 2026, projections show Part B premiums climbing by more than 11%, Part D premiums by about 6%, and deductibles for both categories rising as well. That means even with a 2.7% COLA increase, seniors could end up with less take-home money than they have today. Think about that. A so-called increase that doesn't even cover the added cost of medical care, let alone rent or food. This is why many experts and advocates are pushing for the adoption of a more accurate measure known as the CPE, or Consumer Price Index for the elderly. This proposed formula would weigh the costs that actually affect seniors the most, like medical care and housing, so that future Social Security increases better match reality. Under CPIE, healthcare expenses would count nearly double what they do now, while less relevant costs like transportation would be given less influence in the calculation. This would make a major difference for millions of seniors who spend a huge portion of their income on medications, doctor visits, and insurance premiums. The Social Security Expansion Act, now introduced in Congress, aims to make this change official. It's part of a broader effort to strengthen the program for today's retirees and protect it for future generations. The bill proposes adopting CPIE so that future COLAS truly keep up with the cost of living that seniors face every day. It's not just a technical fix. It's a matter of fairness, dignity, and survival. Because right now, the reality is harsh. Inflation keeps climbing, yet Social Security is losing its power to protect seniors from poverty. The average benefit barely covers rent and utilities in many states, and those who rely solely on it often have nothing left for emergencies or health costs. Across the country, seniors are telling the same story. People who work their entire lives now rationing food or skipping medical visits just to stretch their limited income. These are not isolated cases. This is becoming the norm for millions of elderly Americans. That's why it's so important that the voices of seniors are heard in this conversation. Every decision about COLA, Medicare, and Social Security is a decision that shapes the lives of real people. People who built this country and deserve to retire with stability, not fear. The truth is, if the federal government continues to ignore how broken the COLA formula is, the gap between the official inflation rate and seniors' actual living costs will only grow. Each passing year widens that gap, and with it, the struggle deepens. Seniors deserve adjustments that reflect the real world, and not some outdated formula built for workers in the 1970s. For decades, retirees have quietly endured smaller increases and watched their financial security erode. Now they're speaking up, and it's time leaders in Washington start listening. Fixing the cost of living formula is not a luxury, it's a necessity. At Truth Lens, we believe in shining a light on these hidden truths because they affect the heart of America, the men and women who built our community, served our country, and worked tirelessly for decades, expecting the system they paid into to protect them in their later years. Every statistic, every policy change, every inflation report we cover has a face behind it. A grandmother skipping meals to afford medication, a retired veteran watching rent eat up his check, a widow struggling to keep the lights on. These are not numbers. These are people. And as long as seniors continue to face these battles, we will keep uncovering the truth and demanding accountability. And as we move toward the next Social Security announcement on October 15th, all eyes are on Washington to see if this year's adjustment will finally offer real relief or just another disappointment. Seniors deserve more than temporary fixes and empty promises. They deserve a retirement they can live on, not just survive through. The government owes it to them to ensure that every dollar of benefit reflects their contribution, their sacrifice, and their ongoing needs. Until that happens, Truth Lens will continue to be your voice, breaking down what's really happening behind the headlines, exposing what others overlook, and standing with the millions of older Americans fighting to make ends meet on Social Security. The time to fix this is now because seniors have waited long enough.